Bruce just wanted to try some things and just try some other styles and, just write some more music and just do some things that. Now, if you look at the Skunkworks record, for instance, most of the lyrics on it are not lyrics that you would expect on an Iron Maiden record, I think, for the most part. There's his lyrics were kind of, it was just all over the place, really. He had a chance to try different things. And we even distorted his voice on a song. I said, let's give your voice that sort of radio thing. I don't remember what song it was, but it was just that was obviously the thing to do, and you never do that on a Maiden record, actually. So it just gave him a chance to stretch out. The funny thing, there was a record that never came out. He did some sessions with Keith Olsen before he worked with me. And Keith Olsen's a very famous and very established record producer. And he never let me hear any of it. But I gathered that there was something a little more electronic about some of it. But I think ultimately he just decided that wasn't the right direction for him, and nothing came of it. I never got to hear any of it. He just sort of mentioned it to me. I guess, he got along fine with Keith, but it was just like an experiment. And then I was the next experiment, and we actually made an actual record that got released. So Bruce was stretching. He needed to just, needed to get some stuff out of his system, actually, during the 90s, and he did. And ultimately, his solo stuff started converging more and more back toward the sound of Iron Maiden. Of course, when him and Adrian Smith are in the band, it was kind of like, well, this is almost half of Iron Maiden here. I got to give it to him. He always, none of those records were casually made. Now, Adrian Smith was one of the other Iron Maiden guitar players who had left Iron Maiden shortly after Bruce Dickinson left Iron Maiden. So he ends up playing in Bruce Dickinson's band, and then Bruce Dickinson makes a couple of records that at the time sounded more like Iron Maiden than the Iron Maiden records that were coming out then. I could sort of see where this was going, and sure enough, a couple years later, Bruce is back in Iron Maiden, and they're playing stadiums again.